then the attachment becomes stronger. When the attachment becomes stronger, that's the third stage. This third stage has 5 substages. If I were a really good teacher, I'd have a PowerPoint with this and all sorts of charts and graphs, and I have them, but I didn't want to do that for the point class. Okay, so it's stage 3, and stage 3 has 5 substages. You're really attached. First is recollection. Well, you're really remembering Krishna's pastimes, but it keeps getting interrupted. So you're really meditating. There's Mother Soda, and she's churning, and the milk's coming out, and her earrings are jangling, and her bangles are jangling, and she's working so hard that she's just sweating. The sweat, Mother Soda's sweat's really nice. It's more like a bath of nectar. It's not like our sweat. And flowers are falling from her hair. So you meditate on, but then you get interrupted. Then you think about, I wonder who's going to win the election. Right? That's the first. That's the. Okay. And then the mind is free from distractions. Then you can meditate without being free from distractions. Then when it kind of becomes even stronger, it gets concentrated. So first it's just, you're meditating, you're relishing it, you're attached to it, but you keep getting distracted. Then you're meditating, you're relishing, but you don't get distracted anymore. Then it becomes really, really concentrated. And I'm not giving all the Sanskrit for this. You can look in the purport to Active Instruction Text 8 and Prabhupada. There's all the Sanskrit for this. Then it becomes concentrated. Then it becomes an effortless flow. Now this is corresponds to the stage of a Shakti given in Madhurya Kadambini by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That at the stage of a Shakti, remembrance of Krishna is an effortless flow. And before that, even at Nistha or Ruchi, meditation on material things tends to be an effortless flow. Right? So at a lower level, the mind just wandering all over the universe is an effortless flow, right? You got to stop! Get back to Krishna! Come on, come on. So at this stage, someone starts talking about the election, and you start thinking about how Krishna installed Maharaja Ugrasena on the throne of Dwarka after the killing of Kamsa. So who are you going to vote for? Oh yeah. So it becomes an effortless flow. And then the final stage here is trance or samadhi. Please note that here you're still not fully at the perfect stage. So this samadhi over here is one of 2 kinds of samadhi. Is it okay that this is a little technical? Is that all right?
It's okay.
If it isn't, probably we'll just whisper about it later. I can just take that class. So this samadhi means that there's pratyadhara. Pratyadhara means you're not aware of anything externally. Something like dreaming. When we're dreaming, we lose all consciousness of external senses. You no longer hear or see or smell anything in the room. You hear and see and smell and taste things in your dream. It's like your senses have become internal. So dreaming is a reflection of pratyadhara. There's one place in the Bhagavatam where that analogy is given. I didn't get it. So samadhi, first it has to be pratyadhara. Your thinking has become so concentrated that you lose awareness of anything else. Now we have little idea of this. That you can be, maybe some of you are doing this right now. You're here and I'm talking and you're not listening to a word I say, you're not hearing a word I say because your mind is completely someplace else. How am I going to take care of this thing? 10 o'clock, somebody's coming for a meeting. I've got the papers ready. She's going late now. I've got the papers ready. So, and you lose awareness of the external world to some extent. So some extent losing awareness is this effortless flow, but total losing awareness is samadhi. All you know about. And this is also, we talk about in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, internal and external consciousness, or mixed consciousness. So full internal consciousness, all you're aware about is your remembrance of Mother Soho during the day. And I was just hearing Prabhupada this morning in Prayers of Personified Vedas say, when you do this, then your mind is your dearmost friend. So when your mind is able to be in samadhi, and you lose consciousness of the external world, then your mind is your dearmost friend. Okay, now at that point, then one is no longer contaminated by matter. But even then, one's not fully perfect. Then the next stage is achievement. This is the same as the stage of bhava. So at achievement, so up until at the point of samadhi, you're fully seeing the pastimes. And they're absorbing you so much you lose consciousness of the external world. By the way, to beginners that may seem kind of scary. You think if I lose knowledge of the external world, I'll fall down the stairs. How will I be able to go to work? We'll get to that. Hold that fear. Now at this next stage, achievement, the next stage of remembering Krishna's pastimes, achievement, you're entering into the pastimes. So they try to imitate that with the movies. I recently wrote an article about this movie, Avatar. I read the reviews and looked at some of the trailers, and they asked me to write an article for Back to God on it. And they were saying that the main thing about this movie is that it's a 3D movie. That was one of the big pulls for it. So you feel you're entering into the movie. Right? You just see a two-dimensional movie. I remember my mother took us to some 3D nature films many, many years ago with the kids. So a regular movie, you're just watching it. You enter into it emotionally to some extent. You sort of kind of identify with the characters and your emotions are sort of pulled into the movie. So that's like the stage of samadhi. But at achievement, you enter into it. You become one of the characters. So they haven't yet quite done that in the movies. So 3D, you sort of enter into a little bit. But the next, I guess that's like a computer game where you become one of the characters. You actually enter into the world. So that's achievement. Achievement, you start realizing, oh. Now you may have had some sense of this before. Oh, I'm one of Krishna's mothers, or I'm one of Krishna's cows, or I'm one of Krishna's goats, I'm one of Krishna's cow boys. And you have some sense, perhaps, before this stage, that you want to follow in the footsteps of Sudama or Lalita or Yasoda. But at this stage, you actually wake up. Oh, I am whoever I am. I am so-and-so. This is my name. You start to see who you are and you enter into the pastime. So that's achievement. And then when you're meditating on Krishna's pastimes, you're in there. And then finally at prema is sampatidas, the perfection of life where it's fully expanded. So I was using the analogy of marriage. So, when the girl, she's thinking about the husband, maybe she meets him, when she actually flies from Delhi to San Francisco. So she's entering into the family, but then that has to mature. What's his name again? That's Uncle Jiten. You don't quite know your place in the family, but then it matures. Then you know everybody. Then you have a relationship with everybody. So that's prema. So these are the stages of bhakti according to our meditation on Krishna and Krishna's associates. So you can see that from the beginning the goal of Raghunatha Bhakti is that. Although the first stages can be called Vaidhi Bhakti. I'm reading Krishna book because I'm supposed to. I'm meditating on the inhabitants of Vrindavan because I'm supposed to. Oh goodness, I haven't talked about any residents of Vrindavan for the last week. Okay, I guess I better do that. And then it becomes deeper. So I want you just finally refer to, as Srila Prabhupada's quoting